So, good morning here. So it's actually really nice outside. So, this morning's reading, I'm going to use this deck because it just feels like a good morning for it. So, it uses the keywords from the Rider-Waite, but the artist actually is not a tarot reader, so she was asked to create a deck based on what she read and her understanding of what she was reading, and then using her own unique art style. So I really like this deck because it gives a totally different perspective. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay. Sometimes it's good to just take a breath, relax. Sometimes just listening to the cards is soothing. Just remind myself it's okay to have a good day. Generally have a tendency to grab the middle one because I want to know what's going on inside. Okay. The Eight of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Pentacles reversed, with the Five of Swords reversed. So, the Eight of Pentacles is about just getting things done. And so, we see with this card, she's creating, she's taking the time, she's making the wings for the butterfly. She's just, and you see all the butterflies around. So, with the Eight of Pentacles, it just means eights are about progress and moving forward and getting things done. So we can see here that there's this period of getting things done. But with the Wheel of Fortune, change happens. So it looks like something's going to change, something in the progress of happening, and I really like how we have the wheels here. And the Four of Pentacles, which is generally, when it's like this, it's fours are about stability, boundaries, but it can also be, when things get too stable, or, we take things for granted kind of thing. Maybe become too conservative, too content with what we have. And so this is getting reversed. So, I think that what this is saying for this right now is that, we're doing the same thing day in and day out, and it's time for a change, and maybe to stir things up a little bit, because we get bored with doing the same things over and over. And then that's where we have the advice card here, which is the Five of Swords. So, fives are always about challenges. Swords are a hard suit. So regularly with the Five of Swords, you would be, it could be like a group discussion where things get angry and people are biting at each other and things like that. So if this is reversed and it's in the advice field, then what I think this is saying is that maybe, things are the same. Things are just constantly just, it's that boredom of repetition. And that maybe it's time to think of something creative and maybe stir things up. Think about it. You have the 4s, so you have 4 and 8. 8 is 2 4s. Imagine taking that 4, and then, because a table's got 4 legs, a chair's got 4 legs, nice and stable. And then you throw a 5th one in there. It's like, what are you doing? And then it's like, well, I'm trying something different, anything different. It's time to do something different. Well, what do you mean by a 5th leg on here? And you can say, well, I want to add handlebars to it and maybe wheels, and then the discussion starts. But this is what the advice is saying, is that there's too much sameness. It might even be a reflection of how much boredom from doing the same thing over and over. So for me today, this is telling me that I need to maybe step back, see what I'm just doing, same thing over and over. See what I need to add to my life. That sometimes when you have that on the page, oh my gosh, my glasses. I thought this said the 5 of Swords. It's the Page of Swords. Well, that's silly. The Page of Swords. But you know what? Sometimes when you're dealing with cards and being intuitive, which is what I do, that's why I like the Marseille deck so much. For some reason I was seeing this as the 5 of Swords. And I'm not going to let that go, as far as, even with the page. So a page is somebody who is learning something, starting something. And so even reflecting with the 5 of Swords, it's still a challenge of doing something different. But with the Page of Swords, reversed, it's still about doing something different. It's just saying that with a page, it's about, what are you thinking? What do you need to learn? The Page of Swords is very intellectual and very much about learning. When it's in reverse, it's like, what? I'm happy with what I have. So it still sticks. It's just funny that because of my eyes and what I was seeing upside down, I said the 5 of Swords. So that's exactly the message that I need. Again, you have to go with your intuition. And my intuition is saying, this is all dealing about making myself think differently. Taking on something new, since this is the page, the page would take on something new. They're always looking for adventure. They're always looking for something new. They're excited. When it's reversed, it's like, no, I'm not. I think I'm just everything's the way it's supposed to be. I don't need to learn anything else, especially with a page, which is like a young person. He's essentially saying, I already know everything. What do I need to do? So it's still absolutely about that new way of thinking. So today I'm going to take this reading. That's so funny because my poor eyes saw this and said, that is a 5 of Swords. Or was I just supposed to see this as the 5 of Swords? I'm just going to have to go with my feelings again, because it's still the same thing. Don't be that person who decides not to learn anything. be like that Five of Swords and stir things up. So, what can I do today to stir things up? I've been at my job for 25 years. So after being at the same job for 25 years, generally everything is pretty routine. So I am going to take the moment today, maybe find a better way to do something, or take a look at the parts that are boring. And I'm going to use that to do something positive today. So that worked out really, really well for me today, for the simple fact that it's like I had to see what I needed to see with that page or that 5. And that happens to me often.